Welcome to another episode of the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences, and just a lot to share from here with all of us. Today, coming back on, I think it's his third appearance, but I want to get him to like 8 appearances. He's amazing. Ian Matthews, originally from the UK, a royal engineer, might have been the Signals was his background. But look, basically super genius when it comes to tech, wellness technology. He's got a Zen background, healing background, philosophical background. So if it's Alan Watts and many other figures, Thich Nhat Hanh, he just waxes wise or sage or philosophical. And he's so much fun. Just such a big heart. I'm super thrilled to have met him. And every time I have him on the show, I get excited. Ian, thank you for coming back on. I gave you the best intro I could. Adjust anything that we need to here.
It was just a marvelous intro. Thank you very much. It's amazing to be here again, Michael. And to be held in your space is just something everyone should experience for an hour, at
Oh,
least an hour every quarter.
and for the audience, we were just playing before the show with angels, other figures, seeing light, getting answers. I stay out of the questions and answers. And Ian is in South Korea these days, but he also goes to Chiang Mai in northern Thailand. Think elephants, think artistic, think very liberating and an incredible place of suchness or beingness or consciousness. Ian, tell us what you think is up with mankind. Let's just do $1 trillion question and knock it out of the way. Humanity. We have a huge opportunity for growth. We've had it for centuries or thousands of years. What is that opportunity for growth in the first place? And do you see something happening globally? There's a lot of tension and a lot of things are heating up all over, from China to Europe to Africa, a lot of this, but it's something bigger, isn't it?
There is, and it's the normal thing with humankind, and it's not man or women or they. It's humankind in general. Humans are doing their best to try and be anything but human right now, which is not a good idea. And we're moving further and further away from our natural self and our natural state, trying to be something that we're not. And that's where all the confusion and the egoism is is pouring out of us, coming again primarily from the man-made mind. So we just need to turn around and come back inside, find our natural state, retune ourselves first. That's crucial. To just be human. You mentioned it in our warm-up, Michael. Just being, um, because we've lost that art, and that's where we need to restart by just simply being in the moment and being human. You've got your wonderful doggy in the background. The doggy's just dogging. It's just being a dog. My beautiful Zen cat. She's nothing but just a Zen cat. She cats, and she's always catting. And she reminds me just to human, and don't worry about trying to be anything else or becoming anything else. Doesn't mean you can't achieve things, but just be human first. Just be here now. As Ram Dass would always say, it's okay to be here now. And the sooner humans start practicing that, everything else you mentioned will start reorganizing, and it'll reorganize by itself. We don't have to worry about the rest and all the tensions and what's going on outside of ourselves. Just just simply this is enough. And if we can all just sit still and breathe, it's okay to be here now. I love that phrase by Ram Dass. I use it myself and on all the people that I coach in situations like this. So thanks for asking.
I'll give you the title and then read like 3 sentences, and then I'd love to have another chapter come in of what you were just talking about. There's universal forces in place to take care of everything we think we want to accomplish and more, our invisible or unique life path. And now here's the quick passage. Belief is power. Letting go is power. Catching your thoughts before you accept them as fact is power. Embrace the opportunity to explore yourself, others, and the world around you as it really is. This is power. Unconditional is shiny, infinite, and already within you. And let's pair that up with universal forces are in place to help out angels, light beings, your
Yeah.
relatives. Where do you want to take us?
Uh, there's absolutely nothing wrong in belief, but they can be powerful, they can be destructive. Or you could just say to yourself, well, why don't I just try faith for a change? Faith in that higher power that we know exists because we wouldn't be having this conversation otherwise. Have faith. Have faith. It's there, and you're being held by it right now. And it's an incredible resource of love, and that amazing phrase that you use time and time again, love and above. It's very true, and have faith in it. It'll support you.
If Rachel Garrett is listening in New York, I borrowed Love and Above from her. She was an early guest on the show. I need to get her back on. Um, there's an angel named Faith. I don't have a photo of her, but if you don't mind just going still for a little bit and listening, could you have a message come in from an angel named Faith? She's Faith, duh. There's a hope, there's a harmony, there's a grace, who's grace, rainbow light. But Faith is a yellow light. Hope is peach colored. If you could get a little bit of yellow light around you if your eyes are open or closed, but another dose of faith for us, maybe hope as well, peach colored. If you could just share one more extra tidbit on faith and hope for mankind right now. And get a couple hugs while you're at it.
Faith and hope are very similar, but not quite exactly the same. And there's nothing wrong in hope. Absolutely. People will use hope to drive them forward to achieve things, as you say, because it's not about just sitting here and doing nothing. Beingness is your first port of call, your anchor, your stability. And hope is where you want to make an impact because you've grounded and centered yourself. And then you tune yourself up, especially your nervous system, and then you become attuned to everything outside of you. And there's lots of hope in that. Hope for the best for yourself, for your family, your connections, hope for the people, hope for communities, nations, the world. But faith for me, is the universe. It's everything and it's everywhere, and it always has been, and it's ever present. Faith is always, and you can trust in that. So it's the biggest of the bigness, and it just is. And it's beautiful to be reminded of that, I believe.
And I'll throw in a quote from angels. Faith is not knowing in life while letting go and loving. How do you like that one?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And there's, we try and know everything, don't we? Especially facts, information, data, da di da. Not knowing and realizing that actually we know nothing of, especially what's absolute realness, and we don't need to because that's been taken care for us again. And when we've let go of that needing to know, well, everything just then again, everything just starts revealing itself in that moment. It's a real surrender. That's what I think is what we're pointing to here, and that surrender is love actually, and from that point, it can emanate, and you start realizing why you're here in the first place. Why you were here in the first place.
The universe, all that is, love, consciousness, whatever we want to label it, stillness, um, for the repeatable experience you've had over decades versus an extraordinary experience that was a one and done. We'll get to that one in a second. Talk to us about when you get back to the well and you drink from it. How do you do it? Is it daily, 5 times a day? Could you share at least one technique you're using, but also what happens a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to. The morning is sacrosanct, and the reason why I say that is because it's the one time in the day where the majority of human beings do the same thing every time. That first hour in the morning, when you look at it, there might be slight tweaks and differences and unexpected things, whatever. But I think you can all resonate with me and yourself, Michael. You kind of wake up and you do the same thing for an hour. So that's a great time to then have a ritual in the morning as well. And mine always starts off with the physical ritual first, because the great sages have always known that when we wake up in the morning, we tend to wake up actually, our body knows what to do, and we wake up in what's called alpha brainwave state. It's a very receptive state and it's a very calming state. But then the mind starts kicking in straight away because we've been taught to start thinking straight away and start analyzing what happened yesterday, what's going to happen later on today, da da da. So all of a sudden we could be metaphor whipping ourselves with a horsehair shirt without even realizing we're compulsively doing that every morning. So the best way to break that pattern or pattern interrupt the mind in the morning is to do something physical. And I just do a simple routine that I learned off Sadhguru. I know you know Sadhguru from the Isha organization. It's called Shambhavi Mahamudra. Now I can't really show you the physical side of that. It's very yogic. But what I can do is just remind people that being grounded and stable in the morning and pattern interrupt is literally just a breath away. So I can share a simple breath exercise with you if you wish, and with everyone who's viewing. Yeah, it's called the stretch breath. And all that happens is you just make sure you're in a good posture wherever you're sitting. It's very important to do that. Let your shoulders drop, feel the feet on the floor. Okay, and make yourself as comfortable as you wish, and have your hands facing upwards, your palms facing upwards, but rest them on your lap. Okay, and you can close your eyes if it's safe to do so, but you can lower them if you don't wish to do that. And as you do that, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as if you're breathing out of a straw, just gentle, not forced, something like that. You'll breathe in until you're just about full. The belly expands as you breathe in. So not overly, again, gently breathe in a little bit deeper than normal, but you'll double the time of the exhale at least, and then keep it going without overexerting. I'll show you one quick demonstration, something like this. That's all we're going to do. You ready to give it a go, Michael? And everyone else? Okay, let's do that now. When you're ready, breathe in. Then breathe out of the straw, gently. Keep going. Back to normal breathing through your nostrils. Just notice any shift in your mind and body over the next few moments. Take your time. And that shift is a pattern interrupt for the mind. You basically grounded yourself back in terms of being. You're embodied again. It's a great way to start the day.
Nice. And
Thank you.
I have a quote from India. If I can find it pretty quick, I think I can. And it's from a series of mantras I kind of grabbed or quotes, but we'll see if I can find this here. It's again from India. Here we go. And I may have said it once before, but I'd love to get your response. Siddha Katrapa. Whatever the yogin sees is his instruction, and realization that all he sees is unborn. That is the most excellent guru. Innocence is the way to realize non-duality, for here the effects of virtue and vice are one.
Marvelous. Marvelous. All he sees is unborn, which is the truth. Absolute reality is unborn. We're just an expression of that, a manifestation of that in physical form, but we've never been born. We never will be. And we're not going to die either. Absolute, from an absolute dimension.
Before we get to a very special experience that has stood out for a long time, or it happened last week, dream time, a stranger, can you talk to us about elephants and elephant consciousness? Because you've been to northern Thailand a lot, and it's a very special place, but talk to us about elephants.
Just immensity is the word that I would associate with elephants. You move For obvious reasons, physically, you move out of the way for them, but you just feel that there's nothing to say to them. If you really are with the elephant, with the creature, or with its babies, you just know that it's time to zip because of the wisdom, the centuries of wisdom in that animal. And it's time to just be quiet and just stand next to that immensity. And from that, you get an enormous sense of power, because it stabilizes you again. It's grounding you, which is, as you know, Michael, everything is a mirror for you to grow through and to learn from, and to help you be in the moment. So there's nothing. I mean, mountains are enormous, but they always feel a bit distant, don't they? Even when you're on the mountain, it's like, oh my God, I'll get to the top somehow. When you stand next to an elephant, you're there. It's rooting you to the spot, and it's the most incredible experience.
Can we have elephant consciousness come in? And can you maybe take a little bit of time, eyes shut, eyes open, whatever way is comfortable for you. And then afterwards, you might get a message from them to deliver to us. But here's a photo to get you started.
Mhm.
And at home, people can close their eyes. They can just breathe with their mouth open a little bit, shoulders up and down, let go. Ask the universe to step in to help you out of your head into your heart. And then elephant consciousness will do the same. You'll be greeted. You might catch a particular smell or hear a sound that you're like, no way, that's in my house or building. And when you're ready, could you share something they want to share with us?
Yeah, it's make sure you have fun. Life, you said it yourself, Michael, there's so many different colors and cultures, and they're here to show that life is fun and life is designed to be fun. It's not meant to be taken seriously. And you can see how the baby elephants just, again, elephanting. And don't you notice that, the baby hasn't been taught to have fun.
Mm-mm.
It's its nature, it's its true nature, it's the universal nature to have fun.
I think of that John Wayne movie, Hatari, and there's a baby elephant in it that is very cute and always doing a lot of stuff running around on the set. Consciousness for mankind. Let's go back to the $1 trillion thing. Are you seeing people shift? Are you feeling different vibrations, frequencies on the planet? Are you noticing dimensionality coming in more? How would you like to try to put words to something that probably cannot be described?
I wish I could report that, across the board, you can see consciousness elevating in humans, but unfortunately, we're getting both sides. And there's reasons for that bigger than, we're able probably to work out or delineate. So we're seeing both. We're seeing the unconscious getting more unconscious, and we're seeing the conscious getting more conscious. Is that designed so that eventually it goes to such an extreme it'll come back almost like an elastic band? I think somehow sometimes I think that's how the universe works: expansion, contraction. We're moving away from each other like that, but that probably means that at some time, not in the near future, it'll go like that. There are people that I'm being introduced to, or just cropping up in my life. Just yesterday was one example. A chap in France who's leading a heart leadership um, organization, and they tend to, again, if you keep the faith, they'll appear. You know, if you don't keep the faith and then you become incoherent yourself, you don't do the work on yourself, even just a breath in the morning, for example, just do that and you'd be amazed how things might shift. All of a sudden, synchronicities happen. So he appeared yesterday to reaffirm that, yes, there are incredible people doing incredible things. What I'm seeing, Michael, is they're very confident. I think 20, 30 years ago, this whole idea of coherence and consciousness, people would kind of quaff at it and push those kind of people down, even very intelligent people. But these people they're not apologizing anymore for using different language about consciousness and awareness and awakening. They're not apologizing anymore. They're building these organizations and they're building programs to run to deliver to people to help them to grow and expand and contribute in a conscious way. And I'm just honored to be part of these developments and programs, coaching and training on every levels, especially business, because that's where we all tend to inhabit the day. So if business is getting more conscious, then we've got more than hope moving forward.
Let's go down to the treetop or grass level. And this is just before I light a little bit of sage for us. But Angels also said focus on improvement, not results. Can you talk to us about why that's critical?
The results happen downstream. I'll give performance as an example. I'm always asked about and to deliver performance workshops for top talent and the global brands and everything else. And the request is always talking about the end goal, the performance, and we want engagement, da di da di da. And I just remind people that those are downstream consequences of doing the in the moment daily work and applying new habits and rituals and tools and cues, type of tools and cues that you use actually, believe it or not. Um, in the intro, the warm up with me, you're doing tools and cues to me to ground me in this moment and to change the mind movie I might be playing because I've turned up, I might be thinking other things. You're immediately changing my mind movie. You're cueing me somatically and everything else and breath work. You've been doing that to me, let alone me giving you an example of what I do. And that's what I do to human beings because it's the process that matters, because there's no change unless you're doing it in the present moment. And the performance down the line will happen. Don't worry about it. Just make sure in the moment, if you want change to happen, it starts within yourself. Be the change. Might sound corny, but it's just true. Be the change by changing your breathing rituals, your posture, by changing what's going on with the narrative in your head. And then always at the end of it, then have a time to marinate in that. Just sit still in just this. And the process, which is starting to reorganize within you as an organism, will bring the performance out down the line because you're more clear, you are calmer, and you're going to communicate better. That's performance.
I love it. Speaking of performance, here comes a little bit of sage from Texas to South Korea. Quite a distance to go, but if you've never seen this before, make some smoke, sage, sacred, but it's energy and time and space isn't what you think it is. This isn't about more thinking, it's about little less. Let the universe do its thing, whether we're talking career, fun, surprises, or sage. And Ian, are you already getting sage? I'm only lighting it. There's no smoke yet, but some people get it early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's right at the back of my nostrils.
And if you could ask for something from Thailand, let's go three countries here. Have something from Thailand. It could be the music, the incense, it could be the elephants trumpeting, just something you not miss. You go there enough, but it misses you. It wants to say hi. What are you getting from Thailand?
Yeah, I'm getting my mentor in his little jewelry shop next to my favorite van coffee shop um, in Chiang Mai. So thank you for that. Wonderful.
I like that. With your permission, can we go off the reservation? No offense to Geronimo, who I'll put up since I just spontaneously mentioned his name. But I'm going to have Charlotte and Angel be our MC, and it's going to be touching dimensionality, consciousness itself, the universe itself, coming in with some whooshes and blowing at this end, a lot of angels, a lot of consciousness, with even a bigger message for humanity, something inspiring, touching on everything you've touched on, but taking those notes and making a bigger song somehow. You might even get singing. But I'm going to put up Geronimo first to do a little grounding, or he'll say what it's all about. He's very direct and matter of fact, and nothing proper about him. He's like, yeah, nah, duh. You already know the answer. But you're going to have a lot of angels, a lot of loving beings come in, Thich, Nhat, Hanh, whoever, and they'll put together something fun for you as soon as I learn how to scroll an iPhone. Okay, Here's Geronimo. Get something private, get a hug, catch something sacred in the air as a scent. Sage, juniper, sweetgrass, desert pinon, tobacco. And just say got
Thank
it for all the
Got
above.
it.
Yeah, good. That was a
Yeah.
sacred thing. He'll be around if you need help. Here's Charlotte. Here, how big this could be. I'm going to wish you one, two, or three times like Goldilocks, but all these beds are going to be fun. They'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and more fun. And here comes the first whoosh just to kind of connect. It's energetic. I'll look like a goose or I'm cheating at ping pong with two paddles. Okay, here comes the first one.
Thank you.
For the second and third, if you could let, not thought forms, it'll be light symbols off of which your English will develop, but let a lot of consciousness, dolphin consciousness, elephant consciousness, the forests of Asia coming in, and North America if you wish, but lots of love. Here comes the bigger one.
Okay.
And here comes one more, and we're going to get you talking off of all of this. And I'm going to just read a quote from Red Shirt. Be keenly aware of where your emotions are in each moment. And I'm going to read a quote from Mac and Angel, don't call her Mackenzie, defining compassion. Treating every moment with the awareness of a newborn baby. Let's let those influences come in as well. Here comes the final whoosh, and then we're going to wind you up, Ian, to share some beautiful stuff. Here it comes.
Thank you.
And as something new come in that is forming.
Marvelous, 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 marvelous.
What can you share with us?
I remember the first time people started talking about dropping down from your mind to your heart, because that's the gateway to universal consciousness. And that might sound very heavy. It's not really when you think about it, when you're dropping down from the mind, i.e., the thinking mind, with your attention, that's what I mean there, to the heart space, then the thinking is just put to the side. You're never trying to stop the thinking. Don't try and do that. The thinking mind is there to think. And fortunately or unfortunately, we've been conditioned to think a lot, too much, and it runs the show, right? So just by bringing your attention to the center of your chest, the middle of your chest, that's how you drop to the heart. And all the wisdom traditions pretty much agree that it's the gateway to universal consciousness, the higher intelligence, if you like, of everything that is and all that we are, everything that animates us, the doggies, the cats, the trees, the rivers, everything else. So just by bringing your attention to the heart, and a good thing to do is just use your hand and place it there, touch the center of your chest while you're bringing your attention to your heart. And it is what they call it, Michael, is the seed of consciousness. So if you really want to touch consciousness, that's how you do it. Okay, now you mentioned emotions, and emotions are useful. When we emote is motion. They're driving us towards or away from something typically. And again, they're extremely useful and extremely wonderful when we are, in a sense, giving them space to express themselves. Whether it's a so-called good, bad, or ugly emotion or a neutral one, it doesn't matter. As long as we're giving them the space to express themselves, that's the thing. As soon as we get taken over by our emotions, we've lost it, we become incoherent and out of control, and we're easily manipulated. So always remember the emotion is there. It's an energy form, right? It's a vibration. Allow it to be. So you've dropped from the mind to the heart. This is this little practice really that we're talking about now, that you've got out of me here, or expressed out of me, or something is expressing through me. And thank you for that. So you drop from the mind to the heart. You just touch that place here. Immediately your heart and brain are coming back into coherence. A signal, a zero point 0.1 hertz signal, is going from here to the brain to say, do you know what, everything's okay. Whatever the mind was thinking, forget about it. Come here. You're in the seat of consciousness. And whatever emotion arises, just let it be. Just sit with it as if you're sitting with a friend. So it could be a very traumatic one. It could be a very heavy one, a very, whatever it is, just sit there and watch it and observe it. You have your eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. And rather than allow it to sort of drag you away like a big tidal wave, sit with it, and allow it to express and process. We're back to this process word again. And it will process itself. And when it processes itself, it starts then to move through you in its own time, as it was designed to do. But it gets stuck there because we start attaching to it with our mind. Allow it to process, and there you go. And then you mentioned compassion, Michael. Have compassion for yourself in what you're doing. You can't fail at this. Again, the voices will start picking up again. Oh, what are you doing? And this is pointless. And what time? All this kind of, all this kind of thing. Have compassion that all you're doing is taking care of yourself. You're taking a break, okay, taking care of yourself, and have compassion for other people who might be trying to do the same thing. You might be doing this with somebody as we've been sharing things. And compassion, the way I understand compassion is we're all in this together. That's compassion. It's not necessarily saying, oh my God, is everything okay? It's compassion and understanding that there is suffering and there are challenges and we're all in this together. That's when we can be compassionate to ourselves and others who are having the same similar experiences in life. We realize everything's connected, we're all entangled. And we can help each other, and everyone helps each other move through it to get to that higher place, that higher ground, which is really just returning to the wholeness that we really are.
Beautiful. And I had a Geronimo quote for you from just January 24th. All warriors have doubts. They just don't listen to the doubts. Take us to that nuance.
I love that. I love that. Do you know, it connects to what I just mentioned, really. You can't stop thoughts. Don't even try. You can slow them down. And the experts um, definitely will have more and more spaces between thoughts open up and your true nature comes through. Consciousness and presence, awareness, whatever you want to call it, basically floods through you. The real sages, they allow that to happen. But for most of us, that that window between thoughts is quite small, especially in our worlds, and we can't blame ourselves for that. We've been conditioned to not only believe our thoughts, but to be our thoughts in some sense, right? We get consumed by them. So what they're saying here is that the thoughts are there. And again, like the emotions that we might not want to be feeling at that time, just step back from them, allow them to be there. And whatever they're saying, and a classic example is thoughts and feelings of fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's what the warriors do. And it could be, I'm not on about, not necessarily a massive battle that you're undergoing with tribes and all that kind of. It could literally be the fear of walking into a room to a social event. The thoughts will crop up and those feelings will feel it, allow it, and go, okay, gotcha. And then get in there and move through it anyway. And see what happens when you do that. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Let's play catch up on that one memory of an amazing event with the universe, the stranger with the sparkly eyes, the dream time. What could you share with us that you perhaps have not shared before? Was it recent, childhood, in between?
The the knowledge that we're not in control. We think we are. Again, there's the mind for you. We think we're doing everything we can to control situations, things, people. We're not. We never are. We must trust in faith that everything is happening as it should. Maybe even things that are happening that we believe, oh my goodness, why me again? And I don't deserve this and life's not fair. All those things, again, that's just the mind going off on its tangent and creating a narrative of what's happening. Trust in the wisdom of the present moment. Stay clear, stay calm, stay grounded, and then deal with whatever you're facing in that moment. And you will respond to it rather than react because things are going to happen to you. You know, I'm talking about on a manifest level. On an absolute level, nothing ever happens to you. It can't because everything is connected, everything is one, there's a oneness. But on a manifest form, physical doing level, things are always going to happen and things will always happen to you unexpectedly. You accept that. Maybe you use that as a mirror. How have I reacted to this? Can I learn from this? Can I grow? Can I transform that unhappiness and trauma into something beneficial, either not immediately because trauma is awful at the time, give it time. And then, okay, so how can I transform what happened there for myself, for my loved ones, for the greater good? So things are going to happen. Suffering happens as much as you meditate or whatever, and it will come probably when you least expect it. And recognize that so it doesn't floor you, stay grounded, and then see what the deeper or listen to what might be the deeper lesson behind what's taking place because it's going to bite you in the bum when you least expect it.
Before we have a couple angels come in, is there a divine being moment, a memory, a relative in a dream, but not the one you shared on another show when you were with us? Uh, an angel helped you with a flat tire once, or a stranger just said encouraging words at the right time. Do you have one of those that you can share?
There's just so many, to be honest. Again, when you're able to stay as grounded as possible, I don't mean, by the way, you're always fully conscious and fully grounded. I'm not. I still go off on one and I still get in a tiz and I have to bring myself back and everything else. I believe, and the people that I love as sages and gurus, the Dalai Lama, Thich Nhat Hanh, Ram Dass. What I love about these people is they admit they're not always fully conscious. They have their moments. So be kind to yourself if you're not maintaining that presence all the time. It's natural, okay? Because we are physical form and it's gonna get tense and all those kind of things. And there's gonna be a reaction because you've been wired that way. So, but I was on a Zoom yesterday with an amazing chap again, and that chap is, as I mentioned, is doing heart leadership stuff with businesses. It wasn't so much what he said, it was just his presence. And that happens on the screen. You know that, Michael, with what you're doing with your work, with the bringing sage and you're pushing and pulling energy to people. And through the angels, you're asking them to bless and touch us, etc. You know the oneness behind all this. So anyway, I was not sure what to expect from this meeting, but all I know is within the first 60 seconds, this incredible rush of safety came across me, and he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't saying anything. He was living the coherence that he teaches. And he's been doing it from a very young age. He was just born to do this. So it's not always words that happen that make you go, wow. It could be just the presence of someone as well. So watch out for that.
I've got a few of your favorite figures coming up, but if you could just remind me of Thomas Merton. I do not have a photo of him. We won't need it. Here's Thich Nhat Hanh first. Get something private, get a hug, get incense from Vietnam or
Thailand.
those Buddhist temple, yeah, music coming in, those symbols or whatever the things that blow in the wind that are metal that make music. But here he is. And then when you're ready, after you're done with yourself and interacting directly, what is his reminder for us all?
Yeah, it's the right speech. I witnessed him nearby in person at a huge event, and that's how he started. And you got the eight limbs of yoga by Patanjali. The right speech is front and center. In other words, it's so easy, isn't it, to knee jerk saying something in certain situations. My my recommendation is to not say it, right or wrongly, whether you've been hurt or you're hurt somebody else. Just just spend some time being silent. And if you're going to use words in those moments, make sure it's the right speech. And what do I mean by right speech? Human, just be human in what you're saying. Recognize again, it goes back to compassion again, Michael. Recognize that the person in front of you or that you're thinking about in your head, they really are doing their best. Unless there is a pathological reason why they can't, and there's many people like that, unfortunately. And there's not a lot we can do about that. It's not our jurisdiction, if you like. But if it's your average person, um, from what I've seen, all the people I work with, whether it's community, whether it's businesses, whatever, and there's a lot of tension around, as you said, Michael, at the start of this show. There's a lot of conflict around the da 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 da. But underneath all that, when I've been sat with people across the boardroom or whatever, top talent leaders, CEOs, all I can come away from with hundreds of hours of sessions with these people, they are actually trying to do their best at their level of consciousness. So try and recognize that before you spurt something out. And it might just help that situation, at least not to escalate, if you see what I mean, the right speech.
Well, as I always say, if it's too tense, grab someone, go camping. Okay. Here's Sri Shirdi Sai Baba for you out of India. And if you don't mind catching a different flavor or contrast and a lot of love, he can move in this photo. If you want to turn a hand up off camera like you're getting 50 euro, have him hold your hand and just get something private first, and then a reminder from him for us all.
Yeah, thank you.
And what's the reminder from him to us all?
Life is very simple. Don't make it complicated. It's very simple. I'll leave it at that.
And you mentioned I can never say the name correctly, but that's okay. I mispronounce everything. To
Patanjali?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's a statue of him, and let's bring him in. And let's just get something for the audience. What's his reminder for everybody?
The reminder is to have the practice. It's absolutely needed. If we don't have, and I call them rituals, and that sounds very extravagant. And again, it could be just a breath in the morning. It could then that breath could be a little bit of physical movement, whatever tickles your fancy. It could be some exercise. It could be a little jog or mindful walk. It could be a bit of yoga. It could be a dance, whatever. Do a bit of physical movement, and then do. So you got the breath work, the movement, then the meditation. So find a little ritual, which could be 3 minutes, 1 minute breathing, 1 minute movement, 1 minute meditation. And that really is the essence of Patanjali's work, breath, movement, meditation. And he had it on 3 levels, the 8 limbs of yoga, for example. And that yoga is about breath, movement, and mind. It's not just about physical movement by any stretch. So what he's reminding us is we need it. We need to have some kind of ritual in the morning. Find one. And then that makes sure that the other internal forces, which can be your inner critic, as I mentioned in the morning, or the external situations, and that could be the partner in the room that you've woken up with, or the kids being a nightmare, da da da, and then into work or the commute and that practice helps again to ground you before you start your day. And so everything everything starts from that point where you've done your rituals and grounded and centered. After that, it's almost like, you're exonerated. I've done my bit to try and stay as balanced as possible. It doesn't mean that within a few minutes, some Egypt might try and, you stepped out of the door onto the paving, onto the curb, and Egypt almost knocks you over on the bike or something like that. Doesn't mean that at all. What it means is that because you grounded yourself in that moment, you won't react as you would have if you'd lost your mind before you've gone out the door, or lost your body and mind before you've gone out the door. So have that practice at least once a day. And the best practice of all is in the morning. Get up a few minutes early and do a 3 minute breath movement meditation routine. And Patanjali will be smiling, beaming this huge big smile because that's all that he was teaching, really.
I have Quan Yin for you. If you don't mind feeling a photo of a famous statue this way, but off camera, if you don't mind having the other hand like you're getting 50 euro again, so from above you're catching universal light or whatever you want to call it, consciousness that's exquisite. And here she is, and she'll do her own showing, whether it's mind's eye, eyes closed, or eyes open with even a blue light or something, I don't know, aquamarine, something in the room. Catch something that catches you off guard. And at home, just allow, no triota. Or as Archangel Gabriel said, always try, because it ain't about the words, just be.
Mhm. That's a superb photo. Thank you. Or image. Really superb.
And what did you feel, get, or what would you wish to share right now?
That the mudra that was being incorporated there is a classic Buddhist mudra actually. Like you say, it's like this, and with the palm upwards like that. And it can be used for many different things, but what I tend to use it for is for allowing something in, but making sure that there is a filter, a boundary, especially if you feel it's harmful. Make sure it purifies through the heart, and then you give it back out. So it's coming in and you give it back out. And it can go the other way too. People can give to you and then you express it back out to them. It's almost like a blessing. It's a blessing pathway both ways. That's what I use it for. Purification through the heart.
I have three angels, and then we'll get to Thomas Merton, maybe one more other historical figure. Here's Joy, an angel. She's joy, the emotion joy. She's a lot of fun. You'll hear a high, peppy voice. People at home can put a hand out and feel her like a fireplace, but you'll feel sparkle, joy. Try too hard, it'll be on your toes. What are you hearing from Joy that's light and easy for us all?
I'm just, I'm just hearing that I'm a bubble. She's just going, I'm a bubble. I'm bouncing and I'm bubbling.
I love it. Okay. Uh, Here's Charlotte, everybody's favorite school teacher from third grade, third form, not the mean one, the nice one, with words meant to help you expand, words of wisdom. And what are you getting from Charlotte that you can share with all of us?
Rest, rest, recover. We don't rest and recover enough, and she's just reminding us to do that. Rest.
I have one more angel photo, real photos, silhouette of an angel, my guardian angel, 80,000 other people's guardian angel. And I'll cite episode 110 from August of 2024. Retired physician Dr. Karen Wyatt knew right away this was her guardian angel. And a month later, Reverend Julie Moret described meeting this angel in her less intuitive days. She was doing corporate America work in New York City in a loft, had let go of her childhood skills just a little bit. They were rusty. This angel came in and she only lasted 30 seconds. You'll have to listen to the show. I can't remember. It's like October of 2024 before she freaked out. The angel's gone. Next night, she made it a minute. Within a short period of time, maybe a week or two, listen to the show. She had relaxed and remembered she had let go of that side of her and it came back. For Dr. Karen Wyatt, she got to meet Min. Just keep the name easy. Lakota Sioux word for water, light waves of energy and water. She met her as a human being on Redondo Beach, full human being for 30 minutes. Here's Min, Pacific Princess, Mother Hawaii if you wish. Catch a little Hawaii if you want exotic. Seychelles, somewhere fun. Beach, 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 ocean, ocean, ocean.
That's lovely.
And what are you getting from Min for all of us and humanity? She might have a broader message.
Back to our roots. I just you mentioned the seashells. That's what I saw there, and I saw the sand and the water and the ocean. Get back to the ocean. It's where we've come from. So get back there. Just reconnect. And the ocean, of course, is also a metaphor for awareness. So,
And I don't have to know names because I forget all the names, but here's an Indian guru for you. Should look very familiar.
yes, yes,
And if you could just hear a personal compliment, you don't have to share it out loud. Get a beautiful compliment from him and just say, got it when you got it, and feel a lot of warm fuzzies.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And is
Marvelous. Thank you.
Thomas Merton okay by you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love his work.
Okay. Um, you can have Alan Watts come in as well, but if you don't mind closing your eyes for this one, Alan might pipe in, but let's let Thomas come in. It's the first time I've done this, but he keeps popping in, and I've been meaning to get this done, and you're the perfect person. Have Thomas come in and share something, Thomas Merton, with you, and then Alan will finish it up, and you'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah, he's just reminding us not to believe the magical lies,
Hmm.
which are the stories going on inside our head, and choose to use your mind rather than the mind using you. Choose to use your mind when you need it. That's all. You have the choice. He's reminding us that we have the choice.
Before we start to wrap up, I'm going to read a quote, show some light on my hands, get you talking again in some fantastic direction. But here's the
Mhm.
quote, I believe from Buddha, but everything gets attributed to him. The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. We're priming your heart pump here. And actually, I got to cheat and go back to Buddha for just 1 second. Here he is for you through we'll call it a photo, but you can get golden flecks of light, feel his hand on your shoulder, and get an overdose of Buddha all around you and have a very mystical experience. Don't have to share much, just say, got it when you got it. We'll use this as the trampoline.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Good. And then I'll do a little bit of light on my fingers. But if you could, when I go bigger and wider, you may get an image. And if you could let that be your trampoline for a closing bunch of remarks that are fresh, new, you didn't know you were going to be talking about this. You get a dad joke as well. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips.
Go on.
Tulips. Here's a little bit of light. And just say any color or colors you're seeing. What do you see for a wisp in there?
Seeing an orange wisp, actually.
Oh, you're invited back. Orange is my favorite color. It's enthusiasm to me. Okay, now what are you getting?
Green. It's moving into green.
And if you could let it turn
Yeah,
into a message, have light beings come in, angels, Thomas Merton, Buddha, the whole kit and caboodle start to influence you on a shaped message of fun for all of us. And I'll sit down at this point. What do you have to share? And you're closing us out with this one.
oh, thank you very much, Michael, for another extraordinary session. And we are taught to become something, right? We're all completely absorbed in becoming something or somebody, when in fact we don't need to go there at all. Everything that we are is who we are. What we must avoid is trying to become something new. Let's say because again, the normal self-help people and books and everything else are saying this is the past you and this is, here's your future you, and you're going to jump to the future you, become the new you. My advice, my recommendation is not to try and become the new you, just be true.
I have a quirky new question coming in, and I just had a little white ball of light come by really slowly, an angel. Um, I'm going to mention three Data points. I believe they're connected. One's from a Hollywood movie. One's from a famous Instagram person, probably Elizabeth April, sharing a story with her kid and another adult in the room. And the third is from Cynthia Sue Larson, who's coming back on the show for her third appearance. Mandela effect. Now, yours truly would think Mandala, but it's Nelson Mandela.
Yeah,
And you
right.
can meet him. He's wonderful. And here are the three data points because I'd love for you to touch on some aspect of this, either a past experience that this is in parallel to, or where you think humanity is headed for in terms of sorting things out here. Elizabeth April mentioned in an Instagram story that she's teaching her kid, who's very good at counting at least up to 10, very young, with marbles, putting one marble in the hand. The child says one. An adult is watching besides Elizabeth, two adults looking down. Two marbles, two. Three marbles, three. Four marbles, four. Five marbles, the child says four, opens the hand. Four marbles. The adults are at five. A glitch. Now, a different story. A reader or a person who reads Cynthia Sue Larson's blog shared an ER story. The husband did something at home, needs the ER stat. It's always busy there. It's going to be a 5-7 hour ordeal at least. They get there, the place is empty. Every booth or whatever you call those things with the curtains and the gurney, empty, empty, empty. But the main nurse, and she's acting like it's busy. Time went by in a weird way. They got in, they got out, but somehow 5 hours went by. They got what they needed. The medics were a little weird. They were sort of like straddling both worlds. And somehow there were two realities happening at the same time. Everyone kept saying the place is packed. They kept looking around, they didn't see anybody. And they got out of there. And it's really the words of that person writing that can convey it better. The third one is Celestine Prophecy, the movie. Now, I've never actually watched the whole thing, but there's a few scenes from it that I've seen this way, even though in India they do it this way for the aura thing. And it's a wonderful book, wonderful movie, wonderful actors and stuff in there. A group of good guys are in the jungle of maybe Colombia or somewhere in Latin America. Soldiers are looking for them. They hold their hands or they at least go in a circle or at least vibe out and go invisible and raise their vibration to shift. So the soldiers go right by him when they should have caught him, literally right by him. They go kind of invisible. A split in what we perceive as reality. Now, all three of these have some sort of a connection or a puzzle piece. And I'm going to put up a photo of archangels and Charlotte. And they're going to add something very private to you, which you don't have to share all of it. But for your enjoyment, we're hitting on something here. And so here's Charlotte and a bunch of archangels and a little guy in the very back of the V by my finger that's sticking out as Metatron. And let them connect the dots for you in some special way. You don't have to share everything. But when you're ready, say ready. And then if you could share with us what you're willing to share, there's something in there for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
It's deep, and I don't know what I'm pointing to, but I know you know how to interpret stuff. So,
What I saw, and you it's like a segue into it with your words there, Michael. There are two worlds. There's the absolute world and there's the relative world, the one that we do all the doing in. There's the absolute world, which in its pure sense is no thing is happening. And somewhere in the middle, there's this beingness where we can straddle both worlds and we can choose. So we can choose the world we want to perceive in a sense, rather than I'll believe it when I see it to believe it, see it to believe it. So within you, craft the change that you want to see and then believe it later. You know, we've kind of come full circle, isn't it? We were talking about beliefs and faith and everything else. And as I mentioned, there's nothing wrong in beliefs. So whatever world you want to see, craft that within you. And again, that always starts at the heart center as well. Craft that within you. And then that will form your beliefs rather than having beliefs imposed on you and then you see the results of that. Does that make sense?
it does. And
Mm.
Big Mary said, love isn't everything. Open your eyes to find love. And so you had mentioned absolute and relative, and I'll do one more play on words. Make love your relative.
Yeah.
So, Ian, one pithy final comment. I lied. This is your third closeout for the show. What's a final reminder, almost like a mantra, but we won't put you through repeating it 3 times. What's a quick summation, a simple, you're leaving us with something, and thank you again for being on the show. What are you leaving us with?
Yeah, it's my favorite Ram Dass one again, and sometimes repetition is good. I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's okay to be here now.
Mm. Ian Matthews, thank you so much for being on the show. It is a treasure, treat, fun to have you on every time and to feel the experience of being with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks, everyone. See you again down the road.